silly season is racking up, and it's about to be exciting. Hey, what's up guys, it's Sam here. How are you guys doing? It's going to be a fantastic day. Today, we're going to be talking about silly season. I don't know why they call it that, but silly season. It's not silly. People's jobs are on the line here. If anything, it's like the most depressed kind of, but also exciting. Call it like changing rides. Just call it that. I don't know why they call it silly season. Anyway, we have a lot of guys lined up here. I got a Photoshop thing. I got a bunch of numbers, and I have a bunch of drivers set out right here. So, let's get right into it. So first of all, we have Martin Truex Jr. With 78. I think his contract does end this season. So Martin Truex Jr., as you guys know, obviously has been performing really well over the last few years. But I don't see him going anywhere else. I don't see a higher place for him to go. Maybe Roush, but then again, why would he go there? I don't see that being a thing that happens. So I think Martin Truex Jr. is going to stay right there with Furniture Row. So yeah, I think that's where he's going to stay. We have Daniel Suarez in the 19. That's where he currently is. There's a lot of talks. Christopher Bell maybe going into the 19. Daniel Suarez, as we all know, has not really been performing that well. Over the last few weeks, I think he's been performing a little better, but Daniel Suarez, I don't see, him staying there much longer. But for 2019, I see Daniel Suarez staying right with the 19 car. Now this is where things get interesting. Matt Kenseth in the sixth car. So I see Matt Kenseth is getting older. We all know that. He retired last year from full-time racing. He didn't want to, but he had to. So Matt Kenseth went to the sixth car part-time with Roush Fenway this season, splitting the rides with Trevor Bayne. Now we have two drivers going for the same ride. Trevor Bayne, as we know, has been underperforming his whole entire career, besides the Daytona 500 win, which obviously was huge. Trevor Bayne has not really been that big with his whole career. Matt Kenseth, though, he's getting older. Like I said, we all know that, so I think Matt Kenseth might not have a good shot, sticking your ride. But for the 2019 season, I see Matt Kenseth sticking with the sixth car. That's where Matt Kenseth is going to stay. Now, Trevor Bayne, this is where we see some changes. Trevor Bayne, I think, since he's probably not going to go to the sixth car next year, and we saw that Casey Kane is retiring, I think that Trevor Bayne is going to be going with the 95. Wouldn't that be interesting? Trevor Bayne, Levine Family Racing. As we know, Trevor Bayne has underperformed his entire career, like I said. And Levine Family Racing is a team for people who don't really perform that well. I see Trevor Bayne going to the 95 car next year. It makes perfect sense to me. I see it happening. Now we come up to Jamie McMurray. Jamie McMurray, as we know, again, has been a driver who hasn't really performed that well over his entire career. I think the only reason he's stayed around as long as he has is because of his accomplishments, the few accomplishments that he does have. He won his second career start, substituting for Sterling Marlin back in 2002 when Sterling Marlin was out on injury. Jamie McMurray won that race in the 40 car, but then he didn't win for 5 years. He won again in 2007 at Daytona, and then he won 2009 at Talladega, and then he won 2010 at Daytona 500, and then he won 2010 at the Brickyard 400, then they won 2010 at Charlotte, and then he won 2013 at Talladega, then he won 2014 the All-Star race. So the races that he has won has been pretty big, but I mean overall Jamie McMurray has not been doing too well. I don't know where he's going to stay. We'll save him for later, put him back up at the top. We'll save him for later. Totally forgot that I forgot to add in a Kurt Busch. So this also is interesting right here. Kurt Busch in the 41 car is where he currently is. But then there's been his contract is supposed to end after this season. He's not been doing the best with Stewart-Haas. He's done better than he has in previous years before he joined Stewart-Haas. He was with Furniture Row, then he was with Phoenix Racing in 2012, which we all know was not the perfect situation for him. He's way too good of a driver to not have a sponsor on his car. And then he was with Penske for many years. He was with Roush. So Kurt Busch has been doing better than, with Stewart-Haas than he was, from 2012 to 2014 or 2013. So Stewart-Haas has cut ties with him, I believe, after this season. Kurt Busch probably not going to be with Stewart-Haas. There's a lot going around that's going to be with the one car, and I think that's where he's going to go. Kurt Busch in the one car. Jamie McMurray, not sure where he's going to go. John Hunter Nemechek, there was talk about him going into the one car but I don't believe that he really will. I think he's going to stay right where he is. So let's put a big X over John Hunter Nemechek. Oh, God, over John Hunter Nemechek's face. He's staying right where he is. Christopher Bell. He's with a 20 in the Xfinity Series right now. Christopher Bell, he's obviously way overperforming most of his competition in the Xfinity Series. He's been beating Cup guys week in and week out. He won 3 straight races. He won Kentucky, New Hampshire, Iowa. Christopher Bell is amazing. He won the Truck Series Championship. I think he's an amazing guy to win the Xfinity Series Championship this season. Very possible. There's a lot of talks, though, of him probably having to stay with the Xfinity Series for another year. He doesn't want to. I appreciate his honesty. He doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to stay is what I meant to say. He probably will have to, but he could go to the 41, but I don't see that being very possible. Toyota, Gibbs is not going to let him go. I think 1 year Christopher Bell waiting is not a bad thing. I think it's actually a positive because we don't want another William Byron situation where he's obviously a really good driver, won a lot of truck races, won a lot of Xfinity races, ends up coming to the Cup Series too quickly, and then underperforming. I don't want that to happen for Christopher Bell. I actually like Christopher Bell. 77 is an option. They took away the 77 car for Furniture Row this year. It's an option, but I think the safest bet is for Christopher Bell to stay right where he is in the 20 car. I think that's where he's going to end up. Jimmie Johnson, I put him in here because his sponsor's going away for next year. Lowe's has been with him every single race since he started his career. Jimmie Johnson, his contract does end in 2020, but my thoughts were maybe Jimmie Johnson will just decide to retire after this season. I don't see it happening. Jimmie Johnson's way too good of a driver. Jimmie Johnson probably doesn't want to. So I put him in here. I see him staying right where he is in the 48 car. Now that leaves us with Jamie McMurray. Obviously, I don't think Jamie McMurray should retire. He's getting old. He's one of the oldest guys still in the Cup Series. Jamie McMurray, very good driver, obviously. I mean, he's underperformed his entire career. But I think maybe him going to a better team might be able to show, what he's made of. So I see Jamie McMurray going to the 77 car. I see that being where Jamie McMurray goes, 77 car. We have John Hunter Nemechek left out. I don't think he will go anywhere. I think he'll stay right in the Xfinity Series. Will not go to Chip Ganassi, in my opinion. The 41 car is left out to dry. I think that car will be gone after this season. Put a big X over it. And Kurt Busch is in the 1 car. The 41 car is gone. That's just my predictions. Cole Custer has been a talk, maybe him going up there, but Cole Custer, I mean, he's obviously the youngest winner in NASCAR. He won a race when he was 16 years old, the truck race when he was 16 years old at New Hampshire. So Cole Custer is a good driver, young talent, but he hasn't been the best performer. He only has 1 Xfinity Series win. He has like 2 Truck Series wins. I see him eventually going up to the Cup Series, but I don't see him doing it yet. Very talented driver, in my opinion, but Cole Custer stays in the Xfinity Series. The 41 car gets taken out. That's what I think will happen. So, yeah, what do you guys think will happen for next season? Leave them down in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, please leave a like on it. If you dislike this video, please leave a dislike and a hate comment telling me exactly what I did wrong. Be sure to subscribe to notifications. And as always, goodbye, bunny rabbits.